Good.
What stat were you just looking at first?
Boosie's rushing yards. Says 206 gain, 5 loss. That's crazy. He's such a dog. It's unbelievable.
How early once you started working with him, did you know that he was capable of something like this?
Oh, I knew as soon as we got here that he was going to be special, and that goes for everybody in our freshman class, and that goes for everybody on this team, and just the amount of work and the amount of hours that he puts in the film room and on the field. I think that's just a testament to what you just saw today, and missing Dez, but he makes up for it in so many big ways, and he's such a special player.
You guys needed obviously a big play there from him to slam the door. I mean, just what was it like watching him take off and run that ball?
Oh, we blocked that perfectly. I think Bear blocked about 3 guys on that play. Everybody, the key thing is everybody did their job on that play. That's the most special part is we executed at such a great level that everybody accomplished their goal and did their job. And I mean, you see the result, and that's such a great feeling to see the gap open up, and Boosie, he don't miss those. He hits that, and to see him score. And I was a little worried. I thought he was going to get caught, but I just as soon as I saw him cross the pylon or across the end zone, turned to the offensive lineman. And just the pure excitement and joy to just like you said, slam the door. It's special.
Jordan, 4 touchdown drives in a row in the first half there. Where did you feel like it was clicking just across the board during that stretch?
Everything. I think everything was working. We were playing in rhythm, and we were able to get our tempo going, and kind of just execute at a really high level. And wish we could have done that in the second half, but we made up for it when we needed it the most. And the defense played such a great game, and kind of helped us out in a big way. So just a complete game. There's a lot of things that we need to clean up offensively, but we'll get that fixed, and we'll be ready to go next week.
What was key to handling the noise? It was a big crowd. They were loud the whole time. What was critical to managing that?
I thought we did a great job of handling the noise. I don't think we didn't really. I don't think we had any pre-snap penalties. I don't think so. But I think the boys up front did a great job of handling that and communicating up front and hearing the cadence. And I don't think we let that phase us. And we were able to execute at a really high level, like I said, in the first half. And I don't think it was necessarily the noise in the second half. I think it was more of just us not executing and not doing our jobs. That starts with me. There were multiple times where I just tried to make a play instead of just checking it down and moving on, like I've said before. So there's things we got to clean up, but we're going to get it fixed.
Obviously, there was a lot of issues last week offensively, but was this the type of statement start, bounce back start you guys envisioned this week? You guys could have?
Absolutely. I think we could do that every week if we execute and do our jobs, and that was what we know we can do, and sucks that we didn't do it all game, but it's like I said, you take it when you can get it, and the fact that we were able to execute on that last drive and slam the door, that's special. That speaks volumes to this team and this offense, and the fact that we were able to bounce back after a couple bad drives and kind of answer and close the game out. That's special, and this team is special.
Obviously, Haynes King's a really good quarterback. I'm sure you watched him, but what can you say about your defense's effort to just really contain what he does well?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the best offenses in the country. The fact that our defense was able to shut them down for so long and did such a great job of just kind of containing him. He's a special player. He's a really great player, and just to be able to slow him down a little bit, kind of helps in a big way for the offense. I think that was why we jumped out to that big lead, and that's kind of on us too. For them crawling back, we gotta sustain drives, and we gotta keep putting points on the board. So only so much the defense can do, but they did their job when we needed them to, and we were able to execute when we also needed to. So very proud of our guys.
Mason,
last one.
You were sacked on the first drive, and then the following drive you bounced back with the stepping up in the pocket and hitting Kenny, and then the Justin Holmes touchdown comes after a penalty that negated a touchdown as well. I mean, just what makes you so resilient out there when you're facing that type of adversity?
I think that's partly because of Coach Bell. He gets on me about those things, and he expects me to be great, and I expect myself to be great. And I got to step up in the pocket on that first drive. I'm trying to spin out and make a play. That's just I got to trust the pocket and step up, and that's on me. And I got to trust my boys up front. They did a heck of a job. So just kind of taking the advice that I get from Coach, and trusting myself and trusting the boys up front to have my back, and able to execute on that next drive and those next couple of drives. And I think that's just a testament to how hard our boys work, and just the adversity. We don't back down from it, and we fight back. So,
Mason, thank you.